Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, and a quick introduction that will serve for each and every one of these 10 segments that will really make up my top 100 personal top 100 films of all time. It is a huge overhaul. It is a revamp. It is a relook at the entire thing. And eventually at the end of this thing, I am going to do a Letterboxd version of this, which, hopefully will make the first Letterboxd one I did years ago look pale in comparison. So really, this is my top 100 personal 100 films, things that have influenced me from the earliest of my days. I was born in 70. Man, the decade of the 80s was, VHS video stores, the drive-in circuit, all of that stuff. And of recent, becoming a collector, 22 shots of Moodz and horror, podcasts, body bags, just all my influences, right? So this top 100, it is who I am at the moment. Not much of it's going to change, I think. The top 10 will be pretty well locked, I think. But it is who I am. Remember my age, my influences as they are. By decade, 1 or 2 decades, will take up the brunt of this list. You'll see, man. So travel with me as I take this thing on. Take it on. Let's start this thing. Well, let's get on with this. Number 90. As you can see right there, remember at the top of every list, I'll have that movie set screen on. As long as that movie has a set screen, right? Number 90. Yeah. Jaws 3D at number 90. Out of the look. I'm not talking about the original, the first film, Steven Spielberg's blockbuster classic. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Joe Elves, the director who has a long history in film. He was second unit on Jaws and Jaws 2. He was a production designer for things like Escape from New York, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which strikes very close to my heart. Visual effects, Forbidden Planet, going back into the 50s. His cinematographer would work with Romero on Monkey Shines. Look, give me this crap of what should go in or not go in a top 100. This is easily, out of those films, the most entertaining of the Jaws movies. This is my go-to. Now, obviously, if I want a classic, if I want to get real, I drop into 75 Classic and I get real, okay? I love that movie. I love that movie to death. But if I just want to be entertained and just throw something on the TV, I can't think of very many shark movies that is a quick go-to for me. I love Bess Armstrong, Dennis Quaid as Catherine and Mike. I think, just utilizing just the idea of the Brody brothers. I think Jaws 3D offers the most realistic sort of, where would the Brody brothers be that far from the original, the first two films. And I love how Dennis Quaid approaches Michael, and I love how Sean, man, the guy who plays Sean, and Bess Armstrong, man, the chemistry between her and Brody is just unstinking real. I dig it. I love it. And Jaws 3D, man, at number 90, I don't regret it being in my top 100 at all. But let's roll with this, shall we? At number 89, man, a movie that terrified the crap out of me when I was a kid. I could talk about the original first, but it is actually the sequel, It Lives Again, from 1978, Larry Cohen. This movie, man, now I was lucky enough to see the original It Lives at the drive-in. I was supposed to be sleeping in the back. I think I was like 8. No, not even. No, I was like 6 or something, right? And so, I was about 8. I must have been 8, yeah. But we didn't go to the drive-in to see the sequel. I caught this on HBO. You remember back in the day when HBO first came out and HBO was the thing. You got the HBO book every month, and if you're like me, you memorized that book. And if you're like me, you got yelled at constantly by your mom, or embarrassed at Thanksgiving dinners because, well, you sucked at school, but you sure as heck could memorize that HBO book. It is what it was, right? I mean, but when I first caught this late at night, man, I'm telling you, man, this thing, the idea of those multiple babies, that one sequence where one of them, or maybe it's two of them, hiding under the bed, and you could see the cover, the hump under the covers start to move. I had a cat that used to love to climb up under the covers, and man, one night, man, I had this terrible nightmare, and I must have started kicking my legs or something because that cat started clawing, and it was the combined effect that just, I woke up screaming, man. It was crazy. It lives again, man, at number 89, man. This movie, if a movie gave you nightmares, it ought to be in your top 100 somewhere, right? 87 or 88. 88. Let's bring some Peter Jackson into the equation, man. We talk about trips to the video store, VHS, hunting, the rentals back in the day. Had a favorite video store called Movie World. This was just one of those covers, man. I mean, I really didn't know who Peter Jackson was. I'm sure I probably heard or saw of his name in Fango. But, you know, you see a cover like this on a VHS box, you rent it. And I'm telling you, this movie was such a blast, and it stayed with me my whole life, man. It's at that upper end of the 100, but at 88, man, at 88. You know, there's talk about Peter Jackson has talked that he is working on what he's going to call his early work, I think. 3 of his earliest films, I think Bad Taste, Dead Alive, and there's another one. I don't know if it's Feebles or not. It could be. But he's supposedly going to release them as a set via 4K. And that will be a glorious day. But at 88, Bad Taste from Peter Jackson. 87, by the way. Come on, 87. Number 87, as we would have it. How about some Growl, man? How about some Let Sleeping Corpses Lie? This has got to be one of the best British dead movies, man. You know, you've got Tomasi. I'm pretty sure Tomasi's editing here. You got a younger Giannato De Rossi supplying the effects, right? And of course, these guys are going to eventually hook up with Fulci later on. But in 74, man, capitalizing on Romero's success with Night of the Living Dead, Growl, man, this movie is freaking, this movie's so much freaking fun, man. The special effects, the story, how the dead are coming to life is original. The characters, I just, you know, now it's also, of course, known as the Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, is it? But of course, I noticed Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. Would have rented this thing on VHS back in the day as well. And so, yeah, some Growl action here at number 87. At number 86. Have we talked Argento yet? I don't think so. So let's bring some Inferno into the equation. Number 86 from 1980, Dario Argento, Inferno. The most memorable scene in this movie, always for me, is the underwater photography. When she goes into that room and swims down. You know, it's me and Glenn have talked about this when we were when we'd seen the Deep House. I can't remember the two directors that were known. The two directors who are known for I can't think of the stupid name. Well, they did the New Texas Leatherface. Those two guys did the Deep House, and of course that whole house is submerged underwater, and so most of all of it takes place underwater in this house. And you know, the underwater room scene when she goes in there, it's one of those scenes done so freaking perfectly. You can't get enough of it. You just want to go into the next door. You want to go exploring. You want to see everything that's down there. It's one of those scenes done so freaking well that it just lights up your imagination and you want to see more, but you're limited by how much you're allowed to see in a confined space. And what you do see, man, I'm telling you, but the second entrant to the Three Mothers trilogy, I wish, I'm not the biggest fan of Mother of Tears. Of course, Suspira Inferno is a worthy follow-up. Yeah, it's just it's good where it is on the list. I think it is. But man, that underwater photography, man, is something else. I love that scene. Number 85, man. Now, I said I would do my best to revisit these things when they fall at the, whether it's 95, 85, 75, or whatever. So I did watch this last night, but I watched it with the Tom Savini and Joe Zito commentary on. And of course, we are talking 1981, The Prowler. Yeah, an early slasher. I'd have read it on VHS all the freaking time. Tom Savini remarks that I think he believes this is some of his best effects. It was fun listening to him and Zito talk. The pool scene, man, the infamous pool scene. Of course, with most movies, if you know much about these slasher movies from back in the day, whenever you see a pool scene, it's probably freezing water. I mean, think of the sauna scene from Halloween 2. I mean, that water was ice cold. The pool's ice cold, and what that actress pulled off, considering the environment, is nothing more than spectacular. The photography on that scene alone, Savani's effects, dude, the eyes rolling back into the head with the bayonet coming down, the pitchfork in the shower. Come on now, man. Good stuff right here, man. Some good stuff. The Prowler. All right, number 84. This movie, man, I have seen on the big screen. It's been, I have really dug this movie for a good chunk of my life, man. I'm sure when it first came out, I'm sure I was like with a lot of people when, I was turning my head going, what gives here? But at 84, from 1982, which happens to be my favorite year for film, hence VHS 82 apostrophe, some Tommy Lee Wallace. You know what that is? Tommy Lee Wallace. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. This is a German steelbook, I guess, edition that I picked up from Germany. And, of course, saw it on the big stage, or I saw it theatrically. It was a double feature with Creepshow. And that was phenomenal. But this movie, man, is another go-to for me, man. A lot of times when I'm in the mood for a Halloween movie, not necessarily maybe Michael, Halloween 3, man, it's a go-to for me. I absolutely dig this, and it is unfortunate that nowhere down the line it's just too bad they were never able to capitalize on what this was supposed to be all about. A new film every Halloween to celebrate Halloween. But the demand, man, the masses wanted Michael, and so we would eventually get him in part 4. It's kind of a shame in a way. I like to know where this could have gone had it been accepted when it first came out. But seeing it on the big screen, man, it was a treat, man. It was a treat. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. At number 83 from 1980, Kevin Connors. God, memories this brings up as a kid. Motel Hell. I used to have the Fangoria with the pig head on the cover holding up the chainsaw. Teacher yanked it out of my hands. And for whatever reason, I never got another one, apparently, because I don't have one in my stack anywhere to be found. If there is a generous host out there somewhere that just happens to have an extra copy, like that ever happens, but you never know, man. You never know unless you ask, right? You got one laying around, you wouldn't mind. I would love to have that back in my Fango collection. I can't remember what number it is, but it's the pig head with the chainsaw. Motel Hell, man. I was introduced to this by my dad, who just could not get over the gargling heads, man, behind the viney wall, whatever. it's black comedy at its best, man. It's this the chainsaw duel at the end is epic. There's so much of this movie that's so much stinking fun, man. I revisited this not that long ago, and Scream Factory just put out a nice release on this. But another one from my childhood, man. Another one from my childhood. Gotta love those VHS rentals, man. Number 82, another Umberto Lenzi film. Second one to jump into my top, or my 100, right? This movie ought to be probably higher up on the list somewhere, and it's just things settled the way they settled in, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I love this movie though. Nightmare City, man. Nightmare City. And I got no problem with the end. I guess if no one's ever seen it, I'm not gonna spoil the end, but I know the end is looked at as a cheat. I don't think so, man. I genuinely dig it, man. I don't have any problem with it. I love the movie overall. It is, Glenn and I were talking about the other night. We recently did a Black and White Nights commentary on Sadness, and I thought what a wonderful sequel to the Sadness would be if Rob Jabaz just remade this movie, man. Somehow plane gets out of there, has a few infected, right, man, lands somewhere in East Asia, big city, maybe Beijing, and unleashes the Elven virus, man. That would be the perfect way to remake this movie as far as I'm concerned, man. Perfect, maybe a heavy-handed word, but it'd be a fun way, I think. Especially Rob Jabaz, man. Give him a little more money, a little bit more confidence to do what he wants to do. And, God, that would be fun, huh? Nightmare City, the Lenzi's movie, man. This movie never stops. The minute it starts, man, the minute that plane lands, which is like a take on zombies, or a Fulci zombie, right? Or contamination, the ship comes into the harbor, eventually unleashes. The Relic kind of did that in a small way. Seemingly abandoned ship wanders into the harbor, and that monster gets off. But you gotta love the plane as it lands on the tarmac, man. The minute that door opens, it is craziness to the max. Yeah. I so dig Nightmare City, man. This movie is so stinking. Hugo Stiglitz, man, come on. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, we're about to wrap this thing up here at number 81. I know you've seen the poster behind me, so you figure this has got to land here somewhere, right? I really don't care what anyone says. I don't. Because Rob Zombie's H2, man, as it is, dude, man, it's one of my favorite entries into the Halloween, I'm just gonna say it, canon. I don't care if it's blasphemous or not. But this is my German edition. I mean, you don't have to get it from Germany, but I got it just because I thought the cover art was I really dug the cover art. And if you love a movie, man, if you're passionate about a movie, then you got the poster on your wall. You get that special edition. And there's nothing special about the release in of itself, except, just some of the artwork, man. I got a few movies up there that I got from the UK just because of artwork, man. Land of the Dead, Romero's Land of the Dead, got it simply because of artwork. But what can I say, man? This hallucinogenic drug trip, man. Rob Zombie, man. I almost wish he would have pushed the nightmare logic almost to an extreme. I mean, because there are moments, and I don't mean to be blasphemous here when I say this, because I'm a Fulci fan, man. Gates of Hell trilogy, man, I think it's one of the greatest horror trilogies ever made. But there's some bit of Fulci nightmare logic in here at work that I think Zombie does pretty stinking well. And you always wonder, what would a little bit of Fulci look like in, whether it's Friday, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is maybe the closest we'll ever get. Zombies H2, man. It's got just that nightmare logic running. I love how he inverts the characters. Brackett's character, Durf, he's fabulous. I love how Laurie and Annie's characters seemingly are inverted from the first film, the remake from '07. And it's realism, man. Now, set aside the Halloween canon in terms of the Halloween that we grew up and and learned to love, or not even learned, just loved, man. Um, you gotta know the whole story behind Rob Zombie's remake and this one to give it half a chance. This movie gets so much stinking hate, and quite frankly, I don't know why. It ought not to. It's a trip, man, and it's number 81 on my top 100. Could be higher, and maybe it will. Next time I get around to doing something like this. And it's genuinely moving in there at parts, man. When Laurie when she finds out, who she is and has that complete mental breakdown in the car. I mean, if you're sold out to the movie, I mean, you cannot be not affected by it. I don't know, but real quick, I guess, at number 81, H2. At number 82, Nightmare City, some Lindsay. At number 83, Motel Hell. By the way, Kevin Conner. I know I said that. Some Halloween 3 at 84. At 85, some Prowler, Tom Savini. Some great work there. Dario Argento, Inferno. 87, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. Bad Taste at 88. At 89, It Lives Again. And at number 90, Jaws 3D. That's it, man. That's the next segment. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the support. Hit the like, hit the sub, leave a comment, do whatever it is you want to do. I appreciate all the support. Cheers.
This is not a dream.